kind of a defensive focus the first 2 days. How do you feel like that's going?
Well, they were good the first 3 days. Their attitude couldn't have been better. Their effort was good. Their focus was even better than it was this summer. And there's a lot to get in, and we just kind of focused on the things we're trying to do defensively. And so, the first 3 days, I'm pleased. But if you're not good on the first 3 days, you're in big trouble. And so I expected that out of this group, but I really have no complaints thus far.
Obviously, it's kind of a mix of inherited guys and brought in defensive year. Kind of calling card. Do you feel like very early you can get to where you want to be defensively this year?
I want the identity of our program to be built around who we are defensively every day and how we rebound on both ends of the floor. That's why we started out that way. We started out that way in our summer practices. We started out that way with the first 3 days of practice. I think this group so far has been really willing to buy in. As long as they continue to do that, I think we can be a good defensive team for sure.
What do you think this is be in phase 2 as you're going through the rest of the season?
We got to start putting it together a little bit, Keith. Listen, I want to score the ball too. I don't want to scare anybody out there. I like to score the basketball. We got to start putting some of the principles that we put in our full court man-to-man, our half-court man-to-man, some of the curve balls that we throw defensively. We got to start putting together some of the foundational stuff offensively. We got to kind of put it all together and start playing, and then kind of continue to come back every day and clean it up with some drilling and some details, and then continue to play. But the game is played 94 feet. You have to be able to play up and down without the whistle blowing, and so we got to start practicing that way now.
How excited are you for the season to be here? Be right around the corner, official practice started. I mean, obviously you've done a lot, whether it be getting to know these guys, recruiting since you got hired, but for the season to be here soon, how exciting is that going to give you that pep in your step?
It's the best time of the year as a coach. It's kind of what you live for. It's what you dream about all the time is the opportunity to come out, teach the things that you really believe in, work on bringing a team together, getting everybody on the same page, getting the coaching staff on the same page. The first 5-6 weeks of practice is one of my favorite times of the year, every year, and my excitement's through the roof, but also extremely focused at the same time, because there's a lot of work to do. We're excited to do it, but we realize we got to spend all of our energy every day on just trying to grow one day at a time, one drill at a time, and just try to get a little bit better, because we know the first game's around the corner, and we got a lot of work to do before we take the floor in front of 13,000 people.
There are so many new guys. Has that forced you to change your approach in any way?
Change would be the wrong word. I think we're going to have the same approach, the same values. I think you can't skip steps. If you're going to do it, you got to work hard. You got to work on the right things and the things you believe in. That's not going to change. The pace at which we're working has probably been a little slower than I've been accustomed to the last 5 or 6 years, because I've just been coaching teams where there was so much continuity, and that's okay. I think as long as our effort is where it's supposed to be, our mentality is supposed to be, guys are working and playing for the team first, guys are focused. I don't care how fast or slow we go, as long as we're checking those boxes. And so far, we've been able to check those boxes. The question is, are we going to come in and do that today, and we're going to wake up and do that again tomorrow? So, yeah, you're going a little slower, Dan, than I've probably been accustomed to. But I have patience as long as the things that I'm not patient for are being handled on a day-to-day basis. And so far, so good.
How do you go about, in the early goings, meshing together a bunch of guys that you expect to play together as a team, as a cohesive unit who have not played together a lot before?
Yeah, listen, guys, I know the question is, you got a bunch of new guys on the team that a lot of them are new to Cincinnati. They're all new to me for the most part. We have a coaching staff that's new to each other. How do you bring all that together? And I don't have a lot of tricks. The way we're going to do it is by working at it one day at a time and working on the things that we believe in. And that's being really tough, not just physically tough, which we're working on, but being really mentally tough. Making sure that we have the right approach every single day to how hard we're going to work, making sure we have a high level of discipline, making sure that the group is about the team first and willing to make sacrifices for that. And then making sure that every day we come to the circle and practice, we've gotten a little bit better. And so there's no tricks to it. I'd be doing that if I had coached all these guys for the last 3 years and had a staff that had been together for 10. So we're doing it the same way, but it is a little bit more of a process when you have a bunch of new faces.
How positive? Down the hall, football. How exciting is that? How is the move and your impressions of them early on in this season?
It's been great. It's been fun. What's been neat for me is, I grew up as a college football fan. On Saturdays watching games, and as I got into coaching, I haven't coached anywhere where there was big-time college football, and so I've always just been so buried this time of the year into what we're doing with our team. The fall's really busy in college basketball, so I kind of got away from being a college football fan. It's been fun for a couple hours every Saturday this year to be a college football fan again. It's been even more fun to be a college football fan of one of the best teams and the best programs in the country. So, man, we're energized by what our football program's doing. We're trying to tap into that. I've been blown away just how generous Coach Fickle's been with his time with me, helping me get my feet on the ground and talk a lot about what Cincinnati's about, what UC's about, what our athletic department's about. So in every single way, I might have the biggest football fan in Cincinnati right here, but even more than that, I think it's something that our program can take energy from, tap into as we kind of go through our preseason and into our season.
Were you in South Bend?
I did. We practiced at I think 6:30 on Saturday morning, which we would do that during those first 3 days anyway to set a tone, but it made it really convenient that I was able to get up to the game and experience that with a lot of other Cincinnati Bearcat fans, as I found out when I got there, and it also allowed 4 or 5 of our guys were able to get in the car and drive up and get there for the game as well. So really neat stuff. Really proud to be here at the same time Coach Fickle is, and to kind of witness what he's done with this program and what the rest of those guys on that staff and that team have done.
What was your reaction when you looked up into the stands and saw that?
You just get goosebumps, to know that. I've said this from day one. I always wanted to coach somewhere where it really mattered, where people were really passionate about basketball and really passionate about sports. And to see, like, the first game in Nippert against Murray State, against Miami, like walking in there for the first time, being in South Bend, to see how passionate our fans are and how engaged they are, like, that's just been one of the many moments where you just kind of pinch yourself and you feel like you're lucky to be coaching somewhere where that's going on.
How positive is it to have a few players that you coached previously on this roster?
Yeah, it's the guys that have been here. It's been great because they have an understanding of what it's going to take to compete night in, night out in our league, and that they also, want to get out and prove that they belong on every stage that they're going to be on after experiencing some disappointing losses last year. So it's been great to have that chip, to have guys that have that chip on their shoulder about what they want to do this year to have a good year.
I haven't got the chance to ask you, I don't know if other guys have, but just the Big 12 news, I know it's a couple years away, but what does that do for not with the momentum of the football program right now, but going to play the likes of Kansas and Oklahoma State, those teams, and what does the Big 12 news do for you?
Yeah, we all want to play on the biggest stage. Like, players want to play on the biggest stage, coaches want to coach on the biggest stage. And you want to have a chance night in, night out to see where you stack up against the best basketball programs in the country. Because, quite frankly, we are one of the best basketball programs in the country, and we have to get back to playing to that standard every night. We're going to get that opportunity in the Big 12, but it is a couple years away, and we already play in a pretty big-time basketball league in the American. And I think as energized as everybody is about the Big 12, and don't get me wrong, I am too, I think we can't look past the American. This is an excellent basketball league. We have some work to do to compete night in, night out in the American, and that's kind of where our focus is right now, day to day. But the big picture, it is really exciting.
All right, guys, we have 10 minutes to the players have delayed.
So any interview requests, let me know.